All right. What is up, good lifers? Hello. Welcome to the Good Life Property Management Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Welty. And as usual, if you're interested in building a bigger future, you're in the right place, you're with the right people. So I wanted to start today with my guest. Now, let me introduce my guest first. Alex Osenenko, very well known in the space. Say hi, Alex.
Hello, everyone. And Steve, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm really excited to have you here. Known you for a few years now. Really got to know you closer the last couple years, year and a half or so. I know OS is a positive focus. So, Alex, I wrote a really good song this morning, and I felt really good about it, and it jacked me up, and I was really happy. My business best is I kind of re-looked at old PM Grow slides from 2017. I bought that after package, and I got some really good content on your and Jordan's head-to-head that I was able to kind of pull out some additional ideas that I think are going to help us close more business.
That's fantastic, man. That's really, really good. So my personal best is I am on a 4-week streak of taking absolutely cold showers. In other words, I'll go through my shower routine and I'll flip it all the way. I take the Wim Hof breathing technique.
Nice.
Breath until you get tingled a little bit. Stop the breath. Boom. Full cold for 2 minutes. Feels amazing. Feels like getting punched in the face in a good way.
Wow, man. I've heard people doing that. Someone told me they do that to cut a toughness groove like in their brain. So how long is that cold shower?
2 minutes exactly. So you go through your normal shower routine, warm and all that, and then you do the breathing technique and you just flip it to cold. And for 2 minutes, you straight up twisting. And I'm at the point now where it's winter and the tap water got cold enough that it's beginning to be again. Like the first time I did it, I couldn't believe how good I felt. And then it started to get kind of like, yeah, it's cold, but not cold enough. And somebody said, well, you got to put some ice in a bathtub. Like level it up. Well, now it's getting colder here in California even, and the water's getting colder. So anyway, it's a lot more fun now. Dude, I'm telling you, if it feels amazing. And then my business best, I would say that the headway we're making into an amazing lineup into the PM Growth Summit 2019. Jordan and I had an hour-and-a-half conversation after we put kids to bed yesterday, kind of strategizing around the last few speakers. But I feel we have a very, very good lineup, and it's going to be on a subject that you and I are going to talk about today. So the whole theme of the conference is improving customer experience. I think I don't want to preface your topic announcement for this show, but that's what the summit is going to be about.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. So like today's episode, I think I was going to title it, the ultimate growth strategy. What I want to focus on in this conversation is not your technical, well, we'll go into some technical stuff, but not your traditional, I would say, growth talk. Really, if you start with the North Star question of how can we help people the most, I feel that's the ultimate growth strategy that's going to get you everything else to fall into place. So how are you going deep on that in your own company, Alex? And how have you seen a strategy like that working for people that you work with?
Yeah, I have an answer for that. So for myself, and I'll extrapolate it for the property management space and the customers, some of the most successful customers we work with and what they think about this. For me, my whole passion and life's purpose is helping small businesses grow. Property management is my tribe. This is where I play. So coming from that perspective as a purpose, there's a lot of opportunities out there as a business owner, as you know, to do other things like opening your own property management company. Darn it, I know how to market a thing. I can hire PMs, right? I don't need to know everything about property management, although I know enough, but I can grow it and I can do multi-location. I can do the roll-up and I can sell it just like everybody else is doing today, right? And I can do it well, but it's against my purpose. I'm here to help small businesses, not compete with them, right? So that is out, right? And then so what else is left, right? What is left is staying true to your purpose. Now, let me extrapolate that, and our whole team is behind this 100%. Let me extrapolate that for the property management entrepreneurs that are listening. You dear ladies and gentlemen, serve an amazingly important purpose. You find homes for people. Like, you can't underestimate the importance of that. You find homes for people to live in, and you provide financial security for your landlords, that are like their biggest assets are under your control and management. And if I think if people really, really sit down and understand that this rat race, it's all about making those two things work. And there's such a significant, such an important part of the job, part of the calling, is to make these things come true and find comfortable places for people to live and take care of somebody's assets. That's a high calling, in my opinion. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I think if you really slow down, what really interests me is in this space, at least, is being different. And so I'm not aware of very many property managers who woke up this morning and said, okay, how can I help my customers the most today? There might be a few, there might be sporadic people asking that. And, in full disclosure, I'm not always asking myself that, right? We get pulled into kind of selfish thinking and forget about our North Star. But I've been writing that question down, and because I really think it's going to give me a competitive advantage, because who else is thinking that? And so if you can start from that place, I think that's where the nucleus of the ultimate growth strategy comes from. And you go out from there. So
Exactly right. And so I think I think this business is so immature, right? It's so immature that we are so focused on our ability to add more doors and add more units. And we're not focused enough on delivering product that will actually help you in a long-term growth strategy, right?
mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of systems and softwares, and I think a lot of conversation goes into what, Steve? Two things. How can I outsource and cut my labor? And B, how can I fee maximize?
Yeah.
This is what the industry is right now focused on. But well, guess what? We want to drive the innovation for this industry. And you and I talking about customer experience, you came up with this on your own. And we came up with a themed conference to push our people, our tribe this way. Because if we want to make an impact as a society, as an industry on the society, as an industry on the society, we have to start convincing some of these self-managing landlords to relinquish control into professionals who can do a better job,
mm-hmm.
right?
And
a better job. And until and unless these landlords, these investors will begin to talk to his friends or their friends about the experience they had, the positive experience they had with the property manager, the actual lift on return on investment, this will not move the needle. You'll be fighting the bloody waters, not in blue ocean.
Right. And how are you actually going to do a better job than someone that cares more than you? You know what I mean? If you think about it, the owner cares a lot. And so they're putting their, blood, sweat, and tears into the property. And so how are we as a community going to offer a better service just on a technical aspect? I don't think there's an essence that has to be there before you can actually deliver an experience of that quality. I think you start with your core values, your purpose. Like my purpose, what I look at each morning is, I want to be one with life, which means I want to be accepting of whatever comes to me, number one, good or bad. And then I want to create massive value, opportunity, and abundance for others. And so I think that is the core. And I would encourage people to think about what their purpose is and that also fires me up. Max used to really fire me up, but not so much anymore. Adding doors is kind of like yawn, some months we add a ton, some months we don't. But really making an impact in people's lives, that fires me up. And that's what we need, is more passion and enthusiasm in life, right?
Absolutely. And so when you layer in proper branding and professional marketing and approach to that healthy core,
mm-hmm.
now you have an unstoppable machine, especially if you implement EOS, you remove yourself as an owner, as a center of attention, and the only person who knows everything about the company. Now you're talking about, Andy Moore's, Jock McNeil's, Steve Welty's. Now you're talking about folks who don't have to sell. Like, I don't know if you're building to sell or not, but you don't have to. You can run this business, enjoy your life. I mean, am I right?
Right.
Yeah. And so it's not pump and dump kind of situation. And there's a lot to be said, but there's a lot of different strategies. And I don't discount folks who want to build something, sell it, and go do something else. That's fine. But there's still a big opportunity in getting a better understanding of who your client is, what their concerns are, and try to solve it. Try to be innovative in
Right.
coming up with ways to solve it without just thinking the app is going to do it.
Right. And I don't know if you or anyone else listening can relate to this, but I've personally had this issue where I have this North Star, but then all of a sudden I'm in the weeds on, I'm raising my revenue, or I'm raising a fee, or, I'm doing something that doesn't seem correlated to my North Star. And then I feel resistance because, oh, I said I was going to commit to this, but now I'm doing this. But I kind of had an epiphany today or yesterday recently that in every marketing technique, sales technique, fee discussion, there's a sliver of how it's going to help the customer. If you're raising the fee and, just a yearly admin fee, just because it's a fee, yeah, that's probably not helping the customer. But if you actually figure out a value add pet guarantee where that's actually going to create a win-win situation. So I think it's not an either or. I think there's a sliver of the North Star in everything. You can find it. And if you can't, then you're probably somewhere you shouldn't be. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. It's true, but you can't help a customer when being in business or when operating on fumes or
Right.
burning your team out. Yeah, there's place for outsourcing. Absolutely. But it's being solved. It's not innovation. It's not what's next. It's what's now. VMAX, yeah, you got to get paid for what you do. I don't call it VMAX because people, that's stupid in my opinion. You
Mm-hmm.
call it value add services.
Right.
Now we talking, right? It's also how you communicate these things. And I keep sort of correcting people when they say, well, we want to do ancillary fees. I'm like, no, those are value add services. Yeah, you get ancillary fees by providing value add services, but call it that. And it flips the purpose a little bit. Like, what value are you going to add today? Well, I'm going to oversee people's capital improvements and I'm going to do a damn good job about it. And it's hard to find contractors. Yeah, I'm going to get 10% on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But look, what would they do otherwise? They'll hire their cousin Jack to do the flooring, and that's going to take 6 months. And if that takes 6 months, that's 6 times 2,500. That's how much they lost, right?
Yeah.
You can do these things. You can care enough. And I just did sorry, I'm going on the rent here, but I just did a sales training for my friend Mike Catalano for a couple of his BDMs. I really enjoy going to the office, doing these small, really like belly to belly kind of meetings, and
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten a lot out of it, and I've learned a lot. But the biggest mistake I see, like the first thing to solve is people pitching way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like when somebody calls you and says, what's your fee? That's an opportunity to have a discussion. That's all they know what to ask. And the fact that you get upset, you get in that question, it's your problem. Don't put it on the customer or on the prospect. That's all they know how to ask because nobody cares. All they want to talk about is their services. All I'm saying is there needs to be a lot of attention spent on discovery.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
What is
One.
your issue? Why are you coming to me with, and just one I'm just going to do one quick tip for your listeners. For those of you who want to turn what is your fee conversation into a deep discovery, deep relationship, and a big sale with a lot of referrals in the future, do this one thing. Go ahead and ask me what's your fee, Steve.
So Alex, what do you charge?
Yeah, Steve, thank you for that question. Our fees range between 6 to 9%. It's really, I want to make sure we're able to solve your specific situation. Tell me a little bit about your property, and we'll find the best program that solves your particular situation.
That's nice. I like that.
It could be more eloquent, but I was on the spot.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like how you gave the range because I've heard some people teaching, well, hold on a second. Let's talk about first. That pisses me off as a consumer.
Defense. You putting them on their back right away because you didn't answer the question. You
Mm-hmm.
just shunned my question, meaning you have something to hide. I'm already half listening.
Yeah. Or I think, I forget what ours is exactly, but it's something like, we charge X, they charge 8%. but what you should charge, what property managers charge is just one, part of the overall conversation, and probably one of the least important. Yeah, I think I butchered that too, but yeah, it's kind of going into your value after you've talked about the fee, but giving them the answer up front.
Yeah, diffuse their concern right away, especially if you're able to give them range, Steve. That's something you should consider, man, because that's
Yeah.
really sort of, you're not too cheap, you're not too expensive, you play in all spectrums, you're just looking for the best solution for them. That right away puts them in a different state of mind.
Yeah.
Like, I can work with these people if they're good enough, like they're priced fairly.
Yeah. So I love how we're on the same level with this, and I'm super excited about PM Grow being focused on the customer experience, because I've totally resonated with this from the first time I heard the phrase. I've been on and off the journey, more focused than other times, but this year in 2019, I'm like fully committed to being focused here. One of the things we did recently is I split up my whole customer journey, and I said, okay, teams of two. You two are taking from the time the tenant finds us online to the time they rent from us. You two are taking from the time the manager, and splitting up the journey. And we're having a month-long contest to see who can come up with the best ways to throw delight and joy and all these things into each experience.
You got to read the book, man. This is, I'm going to show it.
Yeah, I'm going to see it.
By the way, are you recording a video on this?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Yeah, it's Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. We just confirmed Joey Coleman as a keynote speaker at the 2019 PM Grow Summit. And those of you who have attended, he's going to be the Marcus Sheridan of tomorrow for all of us, because he's talking about customer journey. And Steve, you will love this. Specifically, my recommendation is to work through the questions at the end of each section. So the first section is pre-sale, and then it goes into post-sale customer experience. Like, let me just, can I read a few questions?
Yeah, please.
I mean, just for the heck of it, answer those for me. Okay.
Let's do
When
it.
prospects review your marketing materials, do they get a good idea of what their experience is going to be like if they become customers?
Man, we could do a better job of that. Yeah.
Okay. How long does a typical prospect assess your product or service before becoming a customer?
Yeah, it takes about 20 days usually.
Excellent. Does your sales team effectively and accurately share customer desires and needs with the individuals responsible for maintaining the relationships once the sale is made?
No. Fail.
But this is like, I was on a plane, and Steve, I got sucked into this, and I wrote pages and pages and pages of notes. And, being the EOS disciplined person, I'm putting some of these on the issues list. I don't want to overwhelm the team, but it is, it's so simple that it's mind boggling that I haven't thought about it.
It's so simple, man. Some of the simplest things in life are the most profound. That gave me an idea. We used to chop up we had a sales meeting, and then we had a marketing meeting with different people. And then we have our kind of general team meeting. And I was like, we need to have sales and marketing be the same meeting. And then now I'm thinking we probably need to give a sales and marketing update or something to the whole team, because that's something that, the salesperson is not speaking to the frontline person,
Yeah, well, he goes in recommendations that I've implemented myself, and something like your salesperson on the call introduces the property manager and says, oh, by the way, this is Susie. She's actually going to manage the property once we get all the paperwork done, make sure we're a good fit. And you can come up with reasons she can say hi. And usually the best way to do it is through a video. Mm-hmm. Or record a video and send it to the person. There's just a lot of these things that are tweaks into the sales process that right away set you so far apart from competition.
Yeah.
Like unless you screw up everything up completely, you'll get the deal. The conversion ratio will go up just because you care. And to me, I split it up into pre-sale experience and post-sale experience. Mm-hmm. And then you can innovate in those two sectors.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and our front desk lady, Mariah, are on a team, and we have the tenant from the time they find the ad to the time they sign a lease. And I'm trying to think, okay, well, we could do this, like, trip magnet lead, whatever the hell it's called. And then, get them to here. And then I'm like, actually, let me just look at it from a 30,000 foot level. What would I want? I want to find the ad. I want the ad to have nice photos, a video tour. When I call, I want someone to answer. And, going through these things. And so I realized 70% of the amazing experience could be handled by having someone that answers the phone during business hours and after hours, that actually is incentivized and like, not like an outsourced person, like a VA or like someone really good on the phone that is bonused or whatever, that's fully incentivized from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. after everyone else goes to bed and they can't reach any other managers and they reach us. Oh yeah, I can help you with that. Oh yeah, we answer calls till 8. We also answer calls on the weekend. VAs are cheap these days, and to not do that, and there's people out there that are killing it on the phone. So that's something we're going to explore, and doesn't need to be very fancy,
Well, you're just giving away all your secrets, man.
Yeah. It's an abundance mindset, man.
Just, yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. So yeah, it's kind of anti-outsourcing, and you're right. So, and I've been saying this all along, but you know what? I'm agreeing with you. I don't want to outsource customer-facing roles. Period.
Right.
I'm very adamant about that. Now, we have a lot of process-driven work that requires a lot of attention, and we have a lot of, back-end graphic work and video ed, and there's a lot of different things that can be potentially outsourced to very talented people who just, who cost less.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll never outsource. Like, if you ever call Fourandahalf, it's always going to be our core team, US-based team. And there's nothing wrong with people outside of US. They're just not the core team. There's just impossible at this stage to integrate them with culture, with principles, with knowledge, with care, enough care to be in front of the customer.
I feel
that's
you.
How I feel.
I feel you. That I'll challenge you a little bit on that though, because I think there's there's VAs in different parts of the world that offer different types of services. So I think we can both agree that there are VAs that are essentially as smart and as bright and as talk as well as you or I.
Absolutely.
And if we have a couple of those, and they're involved in our morning huddle every morning, and there's a video, and so they see the team, and like, yeah, it's probably not the same as if they're in the office with us full time, but we evaluate them quarterly, just like we do everyone else. They're on our website. So I think there's ways in this virtual environment to get people to be a lot more us, not just like them on the outside, but they're actually us. But
how many people are doing that, Steve?
For us right now, 2.
No, but how many people you think in the property management space are integrating their team members into the actual team?
Oh, right. Yeah, very few probably.
Right. And those that do a good job. So I just had a conversation with Gwen. I can't remember her company name. It's my apologies.
Yeah, Anna Quinn.
Who?
Anna Quinn. It's kind of a tricky name. Anna Quinn.
Yeah. She's an amazing lady, and just incredibly, cool. Just a lot of positive energy. Like, I was pretty frownish when I got on the call. Within like 15 seconds, I had a smile. She just has the most amazing hello.
She does. She does. And she's a reader, man. We went back and forth on books. She was like smoking me. Oh yeah, I read that. Oh, I read that. So she's be good for book advice, but go ahead.
Well, yeah. And so her core business is the outsourcing, or one of the businesses.
Right.
And she says the most successful relationships we have with property management customers is when they consider the outsourced folks, a part of the team, just like what you said. Integrate them in the team culture and all that. But it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it is difficult. Let me move on to a couple other things here. So conversion points. I got to thank you. When I was on your podcast recently, we was talking about SEO, the holy grail. You got to get the leads, and you reminded me about conversions. And I'm like, yes, that's, if you got the leaky bucket, you're not converting. It's not happening. So let's reframe this conversion conversation, a marketing sales conversation, to how can we help the customer the most? So what comes to my mind is they come to our website. What are our customers looking for? And what can I offer them, maybe in the form of an ebook or some sort of, I forget what it's called, like a tripwire or something.
A lead magnet?
Yeah. There's some other sales word I can't think of, or marketing word that I forgot. But like, what could we offer them? That's a conversation we were having with our sales and marketing team. Like, what could we offer them of value that's not very salesy? Like, hey, fill in your information and we're going to call you. Just something very educational. Like, what's some things we could do? What are you seeing that's working well out there? What comes to mind?
Excuse me. So, um, so the traditional path is, the number one is probably free rental analysis.
Right.
I've seen it I guess, packaged in different ways. Some ways work really well, some ways don't work as well. But it needs to be clear what they're getting on the other end, how long it's going to take, and if you can do a good job with that particular lead capture or lead magnet, you'll do well with it. It'll convert well. Ebook is the second thing, but specifically local knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing is you need to have on your website is, to me, is and data is backing this up, is transparency. The more transparent you are, the better you're gonna rank and the better you're gonna convert.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So when I say conversions, I guess I'm thinking about lead magnets and things like that. What other things should we be thinking about in a conversation about conversions? You brought up transparency. That's a big one. That's going to probably get them to pick up the phone or fill out the form. Anything else come to mind?
Pricing, right? Because transparency starts with being proud of your pricing, but also not being too confident in your ability to price the market correctly, but come up with 3 plans and let people sort of play at different spectrums. And I think a lot of video. People want to see the founder. You ever gone to the website, you click about, and there's just like, we are the organization that focuses on improving our customer outcomes 100% of the time. We also know how to have fun. We ride Harleys, to the lake once a week, and we have our team powwow around the campfire. Like, who are you?
Right.
Like, nothing there. And so a lot of pictures, and I like my first thing is, like, even my thank you cards. Even the thank you cards I write have my team as the first,
nice.
like, up front. On my website, you'll see my team everywhere. I think people win. You
Yeah.
look at some of these trailblazers like Lisa Wise. Do you know Lisa?
Yeah. I've listened to her on your show.
Yeah. She's been like all about team since 2015 when she, built her website. And she does phenomenally well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me sum this up. Show people, be proud of your people. Like, if you want to follow someone, look at Duke Dotson. Look what he's doing now. Team introductions. Are you doing that too? I've seen some of those from you as well, right, Steve?
Yeah. We got a good team page now. We didn't always, but we do. And then we got a good story video on the front.
Yeah. If you go to Fourandahalf, about those of you listening, you poke around at it. It's very transparent in what we believe in, how we do work, and who's doing the work for you.
Yeah.
Marketing is the same thing. It's a black hole in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
People are like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know the words you're saying.
Right.
The words you say in your price list mean nothing to me. So trust is huge. And so it's a long way to say, Steve, that the more forward you can be with people who do the work, with your experience and knowledge in terms of offering them value add stuff for free, like the book and maybe a course, right, on a local. I haven't really thought this through, but the course sounds interesting. Nobody does this yet. Let's brainstorm. What can we do a course on?
So we have a lead flow, which is like a slider that comes in. I think we disabled it now because we're trying something else, but the landlord success course, how to be a great landlord. I was reading the PM Grow notes from 2017, and you had landlord mastery course, which I actually like better. So I was going to rip that, if that's cool.
Nobody implemented it. Nobody I know of.
Well, we did. Well, I mean, we did in 2 ways. One is we did the lead flow. And so it sends them a series of emails explaining how it's done. Now we have it in a different way where you can actually just get the whole thing. But then I was thinking we probably need to do a series of videos would probably be even better. And then we also do an in-person one. We've done 3 or 4 times, and we're still learning. I can't say we killed it on conversions, but we probably put 100 people in the seats out of 3 or 4 of these. And we got some doors out of it. But what's most important is we got 100 people in our nurturing software. So when they can't sell the property or they need us, we're building a relationship with them through automation and marketing.
That is new oil, baby. Everybody says so.
Yep. Yeah.
Looking at your website, looks good. Of course, you have the guarantee, and I think that's helpful. But I think that's going to start diminish in Bling because more and more people have it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to not have it, because then you're the opposite. But guarantees are still very, very effective, and I didn't even think about that. But that's key. And as I said, as much people as possible. Like, I love you have a video of you on a homepage, the founder of the company, welcoming people to the website. I mean, I bet your website converts pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing better. I'd love to get some feedback on that video. I mean, not now, but actually from real customers. I love, because I spent about $1,000, made this story video. I just kind of said, hey, who was I when I started in property management? What was my journey? What happened? How did I start Good Life? And what are the things we're doing to change the customers' lives? And so I tried to make it 3 or 4 minutes, and it's getting good views. And, I don't know exactly how well it's working, but I think.
You want to find out real quick?
Yeah. How do I find out?
Go to YouTube account. You don't need to do it now, but you go to YouTube account, hit on YouTube Analytics, and hit check an option that's called, I believe it's called view duration or watch duration or watch time.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Watch time. And see what your average watch time is, because that will very quickly tell you if people are watching it or not, and how much of it they're watching.
That's a great call. Oh, you just reminded me. I got to share this nugget with our listeners. I was super stoked about this. So if you own a property management company or work in management, you constantly get hey, do you have a property in this area? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. But if I don't, please check back periodically for our website, because we're putting new stuff all the time. People want to get auto alerted, but like AppFolio doesn't do it. Like, I'm not sure if any other software is really where you can sign up and get the new listings, right? Dawned on me today, we do video tours of all of our new listings. So just subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll get all the videos right when they come out. I'm super pumped about that, because I've been wanting to solve that issue. That will help. And then they can unsubscribe later if they're getting landlord content or whatever. But we put out all the walkthrough videos. So I thought that was a cool nugget I wanted to share.
That is really cool. So if someone is in active search, this is a way for them to get alerted of stuff, and a much higher chance to become your customer that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So the video on the website. One thing I can say that I'm learning and leaning towards and start doing is I want to make it about them and less about me. It needs to be about me later, just so they can feel comfortable that I'm the right guy to solve the problem. Like, I have the expertise, the knowledge, and the team to do it. But I think it needs to be about them.
Yeah, it needs to be about them. And that was the one thing about my story video, that it was, I modeled it after Tuft & Needle, that mattress company. I watched their video. I pulled out my credit card and bought a $700 mattress.
Ooh.
Like, so fast, because I resonated with who they were. And it was about them, but it was about them solving the customer's problem of like getting ripped off by the mattress industry. So this one was kind of me solving the customer's problem of crappy property management companies. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it. I haven't watched it, so I'm commenting based on people not knowledge right now. So
but it's good feedback. No, I agree with that. And I think that's something I was concerned about. So whether I went too far one way, but I'm going to do that duration analysis. That's a good idea. I love that. So let's see. So content marketing, 70% of searches on the internet are statements or questions. I had a question for you on this. Mm-hmm. How important is the title of the blog to make sure you get the common questions the way the customer would write them? And in the frame of this conversation, how can we help people the most? Okay, we got to answer their questions, but how do we make sure we do the blog right so that they find it and can answer their question right?
Yeah. Um, that is a really good question. It takes us a lot. This is a big part of the SEO. This is a big part of content marketing
Mm-hmm.
is working through the titling and the proper linking structure and the proper keywords within the article to let the search engine know where to place it and under which query to show it to the visitor, to the person, right? I think title is crucial. It's not important. It's everything. It's so important that it's key. And there's one trick. There's a lot of different steps that we take that are too technical to get into right now.
Sure.
But one simple thing that I recommend people doing is go and search Google and see what autocomplete does for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But give me an example of a question. Let's go to Google.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a question you want to address via video blog.
How do I evict my tenant, maybe?
Okay, how to evict. So I start typing how to EVIC, and I have suggestions.
Okay.
Right? How to evict a tenant in California. That's the first one. How to evict someone. How to evict tenants in San Francisco. How to evict tenant. How to evict roommate in California. In other words, there's a list of suggested searches. So now you can talk about have to evict. How about non-payment of rent or something, right? Non-payment of rent. People probably don't search that, right? Well, let's find out. Non-payment of. Oh yeah, look at that. People search for that. Non-payment of rent letter.
Yeah.
Somebody needs help writing a letter. So your next blog should be. I see your eyes are lighting up, Steve.
I'm looking at it too. I'm like, checking this out.
Yeah. So that's one way to hack this thing and do a pretty good job with it.
So are you saying then find something that's already being searched and make sure you run it up? So it could be any of those that appeal to you, right?
Usually the first one is probably the
first one, right?
The most searched. But also you have to approach this from different positions. You really have to brainstorm of how people would ask the question and pop in a bunch of things in that search and see what the best suggestions are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one way to hack it. Pretty good way, back in the napkin way, but it's probably pretty effective. And just one thing is the titling is absolutely crucial. If you, I mean, I can't emphasize this enough. If you title your blog, evictions, all about evictions.
Yeah.
All about evictions in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's not, it might not work.
Yeah.
It just may not work.
Yeah. I have to tell a real quick success story. I got my first viral video. No, I'm just kidding. Not viral, but I did What is Costa-Hawkins? It's this law in California that was on Prop 10.
I saw that video. Yep.
Type in What is Costa-Hawkins? I'm the first video that comes up. Thank you very much. Got like 1,000 something views in like a month or month and a half. And so sometimes we're doing all this content. We're like, oh, no one's seeing this stuff. I kind of just got lucky, I think, there. No one else was doing anything good, but I was really excited to see that happen. And, so stay in the game, people.
Oh, hell yeah. So this is the strategy. Keith Becker, right? You know Keith Becker?
Yeah.
All right. So this guy is, Santa Rosa was passing, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Santa Rosa was passing medical marijuana, legal, whatever.
Right.
And it was controversy about grow houses. And there was this legislation, local legislation, or California-wide legislation. I can't remember what it's called. Don't quote me right now. But this is his most watched video. He got a lot of SEO out of it. He got a lot of calls out of it. He got customers out of it. And it's like the one with 10,000 views or 20,000 views. Nice. And it's continuously being searched. But so being timely, Steve, you're absolutely right. Being timely with these things and helping your audience decipher these laws that actually will make a difference for their properties on their, or as tenants, their rentals. Google rewards that. You see that Google says, good job, Steve Welty.
Yeah.
Here you are.
Yeah, exactly. Local law is a huge opportunity or changes or anything to your community. And I didn't realize it would be, get picked up, or else I would have probably done better on it. But I think another thing I did well, and tell me if there's a correlation here, is the video is about 3.5 minutes. I kept it pretty short, like 3 minutes. I think that's the sweet spot, right? So people probably more likely to click and watch that.
That's very interesting. So if your goal is to go viral, to educate, or to call to action, the duration of the video is best practices are different. But one thing for certain, if you are building videos for the websites, this is the latest way to do this, okay? The 2-3 minute videos are okay, but the copy needs to be 1,000+ words. Google is now looking at depth over frequency. It's very important right here to distinguish. So a 1,000-word blog article with a longer video will perform better, right, than a short one.
Yeah.
The short one, just Google found that they please the user more with the longer form content.
Right.
And so it's recommended right now that if any of your website pages have less than 500 words on them, those pages are not going to be ranked as well.
Right.
So you want 500 to 1,000 words, and you want blog articles to be 1,000 words plus. This is where podcasts come in. Like my podcasts are like 4 pages of copy.
Right.
And it really helps us out.
Right. Awesome. Community marketing. Let's see. We got reputation, community marketing, or sales training. I wanted to talk about which one of those three, because we're short on time, interests you the most.
I don't even know what community marketing is.
Okay. So outbound sales. So we got to help the customer. So we got to go find them and bring them to us, or help them in some way. What are you seeing people doing well, if anything, from the outbound or the community marketing? Does that make sense now?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's an interesting, I never thought of it as community marketing, although I probably should have. It's like Joe Stokely. Him and I had a podcast on the Property Management Show, and it wasn't one of the big podcasts, right? It got a lot of downloads, but not like some other episodes done better. I was very surprised because they're talking exactly about this, and he's immensely successful. Like that's his whole thing. He is. His face is everywhere. Chamber of Commerce and his Realtor Association. He's a president of this. He's a member of that.
Right.
A lot of that. I think Hampton and Hampton, Kim does that a lot with Scott up in Florida. This is, I think, again, your purpose, if your purpose is to help people and you join these organizations where you can provide the most help with your knowledge and your experience, just like Google rewards you with placement, the world rewards you with opportunity if you do that. So my answer to this, my short of it is, if you're not doing this, half of your business is you're losing half of your growth. It cannot be all digital, but it can also not be all referrals. There has to be a balance.
Right. And
what is your take on it?
I got a BDM doing. He's doing outbound and inbound, but I've thought of actually splitting him off and just focusing on outbound at some point, because he loves the outbound. He's a high D on the disc. He loves getting out in the community. He does the Chamber of Commerce. He's on a real estate, advisory board, sponsoring. The next big thing for us is teaching the classes. So what I've heard, I've done a lot of research on this. People that say they're crushing it say, number one, they're doing community marketing. The businesses that are really crushing it are doing community marketing. They have a good, strong outbound sales. They're doing teaching the real estate classes. They're doing a education event, sometimes with a mortgage lender and or a real estate broker for information. That's kind of what we did with the landlord seminar. I know Scott Brady does that. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people that are doing that. It's working well. Sponsoring the break at these education events at the local association. And then I really would like to, and I put something on one of the Facebook boards about this, but I really want to interview someone that's really killing it with agent referrals. And nobody really raised their hand. So either no one's killing it at agent referrals or nobody's willing to share. Because I was like, hey, I want to have you on the podcast. Who's killing it at agent referrals? It was like, nobody's killing it. So
I
the
think I
other,
might have somebody for you.
oh, okay.
Let me reach out to them and see if they're willing to talk. Yeah, I might be able to pass a name to you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Cause what I want to do is do a training at a real estate, you know, at the at the offices, and just something that people care about, like how to sell a home with a tenant in it. Something quick, you know, people are busy. How to, you know, there's a lot of different things, but I just would rather not have to reinvent the wheel and take the lumps. I'd like to piggyback off someone else that's been down that road, and I'll return the favor. That's kind of how it works, you know?
Well, I haven't done it, but I've known people who have done it, and it's as simple as you got to you got to measure what you're trying to accomplish, and put as you know, a scorecard and KPI against it. You need to make so many phone calls, book so many meetings, and obviously put together a good deck of relevant local information that will help real estate agents. Again, you want to be helpful, so
Mm-hmm.
help real estate agents do whatever it is that they need to do, solve whatever it is they need to solve that you can help them with, and just call and just have your outbound BDM call them, set up point. Hey, we want to do the training for you guys. We're going to bring in breakfast. Like, when can we come in? And eventually you'll build a book of people who will start telling you yes. They'll pencil you in, and that's how you do it. That's how I've heard people do it.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to simplicity. What do the agents need? What are the problems they need solved? And then, you know, going with something there, but that we've been tracking that, and we've seen referrals go way up this year. My business development guy, Adam, he does minimum 3 lunches or coffees a week,
Really good.
15 sales conversations a day. Those lunches and coffees, they can be with clients, they can be with potential clients, they can be with referral partners. Um, and then also calling the current customers. I think we all miss out on a ton of business because we don't ask our current customers enough how they're doing and if they know anyone that needs property management. So that's a big one too that we're working at, but we're learning. You know, we don't have the secrets.
It's like I said, 3 things, man. It's the knowing your purpose, knowing your numbers, and it's instilling a culture of experimentation. That's what you're doing. You're experimenting, and the word perfect is not possible, because once you're perfect, there's room for improvement still. So there's never perfection. So that constant experimentation to get better is where we want to be. And I think you're crushing it with that, because, for every 4 things that work okay, there's gonna be one thing that breaks out.
Yeah. Yeah. And then not just how we help. So you opened my eyes to the content marketing and the helping people by, what is the top 20 questions, write them down. So there's some other ways I've learned to use this. So what we're doing now is we asked everyone, give us your top 10 questions from each department. This was actually courtesy of Ron Sudman, who is an awesome person in our
A Tesla. He owns a white custom Tesla. I love that guy.
yeah, he is my guy. He's the godfather, man. I love that guy. We were at a mastermind event and he knocked us all over with like the simplest solution. He's like, I have each department list their top 20 questions, 10 or 20. And then we have general office top 10 or 20. And then we answer them. And then we put them in a quiz. And then when you're hired, you have to pass the test. And then every year you have to take the test. And so we were just all, whoa, that's like, so what we're doing now is at our morning huddle, we're going through all the questions as a team. And like today, half the team didn't even know the correct answer to, the 2 things I thought they would, you know what I mean? So it's constantly, every day we're getting a little bit better through quizzing each other on these things. And it takes a month to get through, but I thought that was a great nugget.
That is pretty good. So yeah, and team education. I mean, you talk about the whole business, running a business, and all the constituencies you have, and all the things you touch. It's very rewarding, extremely rewarding to run a good business and care about people. Extremely rewarding, and it's worth the headache, in my opinion, to try to do better all the time.
Totally. All right. Before I let you go, a couple last questions. Alex, what are you excited about right now?
The opportunity had, I think this industry is just coming out of its infancy and morphing into something fairly interesting. And that's going to be a little bit longer answer, because I've been to Australia, spoke to Australia. I knew of Australia before I visited and was invited to speak there. And I saw the mature industry and how it behaves and how it's stacked and structured, and who are the influencers and how people participate, and how property management companies look and how much respect they get. Then I came back here. It's a wild, wild west, but we're getting, like, I've seen this thing, right? I've seen for the last 10 years, I've been in this industry, and I've seen this, grow from, like I said, the dusty back room of real estate office to people like you, people like Steve Rosenberg, people like, Jock McNeil, and all the people, I can mention another 150 names that will show up at the PM Growth Summit. Those are the guys and gals that are going to lead this out of infancy and into maturity. And there's a lot of opportunity. So I'm excited about the opportunity and the role I get to play in fulfilling my purpose while helping my tribe win.
Love it. Love it. Anything else on PM Grow we should know about, or 4.5?
Sign up.
Sign up. Perfect. We'll put it in the show notes. Sign up, baby. That's where we're all going to be, man. And so that's where you need to be if you're interested in growing personally and professionally, I would say. So
yeah, and this one's going to be on customer experience. So we're really going to we're going to shine a light on some areas that currently are not being discussed and being ignored in the interest of growth. And fee maximization, profitability, those are all important subjects, no question about it. But they're now, like I said, we want to go to tomorrow. Where's tomorrow? Tomorrow is customer experience. That's what we're going to talk about.
Perfect. And thanks again for your time and coming on the show, Alex. You've been a mentor of mine and always helped me over the years, and I follow you and I appreciate you. So all my best to you, my friend.
Same here, man. And I follow you and I love all your videos, man. Keep it real.
Thanks, brother. You too.
Be well. Talk soon.